all the balls. Great way to start the stream. Okay, twitching. Good old twitching. Let me make sure I am looking at the right stuff here. So, environment artist wannabe. I like it. How you guys doing, by the way? My hair's a little crazy today. I don't know what's happening. Oh man, thank you for the Twitch Prime. 6 months. Shout out to my hair. What is my hair doing? I can't even see it. The camera's too small. Oh man, it's doing some weird stuff. Anyways, let's get on to this. Oh nice, you've got a Dynasty Challenges like subcategory. That's freaking cool. Ticks, wow, buddy. So I guess we'll look at this as stylized materials. Got some stylized brick, some stylized stone path and sand. I always like the idea of sand coming in between these tile pieces. So it leads to a lot of really interesting breakup. This one's pretty cool. Very stylized, of course. This one's cool too. I think some more variety in the angles of the stones, because it actually feels like a clump, like there's a plane, and then that plane's tilted into the ground, and then that plane is being tiled a couple times. Gazman, thank you for the prime. How you doing? Thanks a bunch. Man, my hair. I don't know about my hair. This is getting weird. Let's see. What else we got here? Lotus of Greenland. That's cool looking. It's actually pretty impressive how well it's displacing. I think if you add just a little bit of a blur here, you can smooth out all that stretching. Beck, I totally agree. So Beck says it would be nice to see the materials in action. Like if it's a wall material, putting it on a plane as a wall or something. Yeah, so you would like to see the materials a little bit more in context, which I totally agree with. Like this one on a floor. Maybe some free props from the Epic Store, just kind of placed on top, just so you get some context, some scale, and material in use. Definitely a way to level up your materials in your scene. So this material is interesting because it is quite busy, and I think this one actually kind of emphasizes the fact of like, or brings up the question like how many bricks should be displayed on a tileable sheet. Like, is it 5 meters by 5 meters? Like how many bricks are on that? Oh, Drendiman, I will answer that question after this portfolio. Because there's a little bit more to it, specifically on this stream. But the other thing is like, because you're having so many bricks in one tileable, the surface can get quite noisy, and it might just be that the surface is just too pitted with how noisy it is. Maybe their bricks are a little too undulated as well, like they're tilting just a little too heavily. Ooh, that's a interesting. Yeah, the roughness on here is quite interesting. It's got like a drippy aspect to it. Silent Hill case study. So I mean, you want to go Silent Hill, you got to have that peeling effect, right? Where it's like the paint's peeling off the walls. Oh man. That's pretty scary. Again, this might be tiling too much, or there's more information than there needs to be. Like you could take a smaller sample. That all depends though on like when you see it on the ground and how much it tiles. Would I be able to recommend an online environment art courses for graduates? I would look at the command in the Discord. I think, is this give you the command? Yeah, check out the Empire command. And if you're not, join the community. We can help you out. Oh, he did? Yeah, awesome. CGMA is pretty dope. A little spendy, but yeah. So these are good. I mean, they're pretty straightforward materials. I like the difference in the smoothness of this versus the kind of chipped away ones. I feel like if there was a little bit more of a roughness difference between these, it would pop even more, right? Oh man, I get chills just looking at these screenshots. These texture resolutions give me chills. Oh my gosh. So old school. Just makes me think about the school. Ugh. Yeah, the Mentor Coalition is also very good. It all depends on what you're looking for. But we can point you in the right direction, I think, on the Discord. So this one's pretty cool. It has the dirtiness you're expecting. I feel like it might be a bit too soft in some of the areas where you're expecting it to be a little sharper. So it almost feels like without the texture, you can see it feels like there could be a moss type of surface on there. And I guess this here is the roughness. Wait a minute. How is this generated? Substance Designer and Mixer. Okay. Because this looks like a scan. But this information here specifically is not following like kind of the rules of roughness. Like, what's the reason for this under area being rougher? It basically looks like this turned black and white and then inverted and then some like pattern kind of blended in on top of it. It's like just this area that's in shadow. I think that's what's throwing me off. Because the area in shadow, see the area in shadow here is quite sharp, but without the albedo, it's not as sharp. So there's a lot of baked lighting information in the material itself. It was the moisture grunge from Substance, really. So that, yeah, this feels odd to me. Because I guess if it was moisture, you'd probably see a little bit more like maybe some streaks or a little bit of bleeding around the areas of moisture. That's interesting. Okay, well, in general, it looks pretty good here. It's just like without the albedo, you lose a lot of those like sharper edges. This one looks pretty nice. So really emphasizing the cracks between these to help. Like here, it looks pretty good. This area here, I guess the cracks are really tight. And I think if you can get the... Oh no, see here it looks okay. I mean, this one looks relatively all right. It's up here, I guess, maybe because it's more of a direct light. Like these actually look like two different materials as far as like how much the cracks are pushing the shapes. That's cool though. Twitching, is there anything specifically, because I don't have the Excel sheet with me right now, is there anything specific that you want me to push through the pipe when it comes to portfolio? Like, are you planning on, so you're saying environment artist wannabe, but you're doing a lot of material work, right? So are you trying to go for more of a stylized look, or are you trying to go for more of a, are you pushing more realistic stuff? Do you want to be a texture artist or an environment artist? The one below has boosted displacement tessellation. Oh, that makes sense then. Okay. Hey, Bryant, let's I'll tell you after this one, after this portfolio. We'll take a few minute break between. Learning at the moment? Okay. So you're experimenting with all the styles. So I guess that's awesome. Like experimenting with all the styles is going to give you a really good, like, it's going to give you a good direction or understanding of the things that interest you. So just make sure you're replicating the shapes that you're seeing. You're following a lot of reference, and you're just kind of having fun doing what you're doing, and see what sticks to you, right? Like if you're like, oh man, this is really fun. If it's really fun, do another one. If you want to like try building props, try some props out. Yeah, the moment you're in right now, as long as you can afford to, experimenting and kind of dabbling in a bunch of different types of art, props, textures, hard surface, organic, sculpting, like just, you know, try it all out, see how it feels. Because like getting into the industry, especially in AAA, you're going to want to focus in a very specific direction, right? And like the main reason I say that is because in AAA you have departments that are very specialized, where you have props artists, you have lighting artists, you have environment artists, which are more like level artists. They tend to build the scene, and they use the props that the props artists have built for them. So environment artists, for example, don't really texture all that much, if at all, especially as the studio gets larger. Then you have texture artists, and that's really large studios have texture art teams. So anyways, giving you a little bit of an insight. Overall, though, it looks like you're having fun. You're experimenting with stuff, and actually I see a progression in the quality, even though like I'm comparing stylized with some more realistic stuff. Yeah, I would say just keep going, and if you're curious about other stuff, just let me know. Let anyone in the Empire know. We'll all help you. There are older things in your folders below. That's why I usually click all. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. This one was pretty interesting. I like the approach you took with the moss to really like just push the tessellation. So this, I guess this one, the tooth on the edge of the wood pieces is a little strong. Like it's really kind of chipped away in a strange way. Whereas like wood tends to splinter, and the breakaways try to make those longer instead of little chips. What is AAA? AAA is like the high budget big games, whereas like AA would be the smaller games. And I see, and it gets weird from there. Like, when is indie AA? I don't know. AAA tends to be the high budget like blockbuster games though. But very cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's just a little on the jaggedy side here. And there's a pretty clear pattern in the little gaps here. So maybe, I guess that's supposed to be the wood that's under it. Yeah, I think that's the wood that's under it. Overall, though, I think you are progressing. Your work is getting better. Just make sure you're having fun and learning something. Very nice. Hey, thanks for the follow, dude. Is Tetris AAA? I mean, in its time, I would say it became quite pinnacle, right? The fact that you're mentioning it right now is kind of a big deal. All right, I will be right back, and we're going to get to the next portfolio. Be right back.